I want you to sit with this for a second.
Armed groups and pirates were kidnapping oil workers there, many of them foreigners.
That was the way that the Niger Delta militants were making money at that time, because there was just a sense that somebody would pay. The embassy would pay, families would pay.
300 schoolgirls have been kidnapped.
Young school kids have become bait.
In 2021, while your neighbors were selling land to pay ransom for kidnapped children,
has now become big business, the fastest growing criminal enterprise in Nigeria.
Nigeria's own central bank was sitting in an office in Abuja, writing a report. In that report, they admitted, in their own words, that billions of naira in gold was leaving this country for Dubai. No taxes paid, no papers, no explanation. They knew, in writing, on record, and they built a plan to stop it. Then they filed it in a drawer. Nobody was arrested. No naira came home. And 5 years later, kidnappers are still funding an entire war economy of the same gold that the report warned you about. Tonight I'm going to show you exactly who signed off on that silence. The palace, the ministry, and the men in Dubai counting Nigeria's stolen wealth while your country buries its children. By the end of this video, you will not see a single kidnapping headline the same way again. July 16, 2022, Yandoto Emirate, Zamfara State. A crowd gathers, drummers play, and the traditional monarch, a man Nigerians are raised to respect without question, places a royal turban on the head of a wanted bandit commander, Adamu Ado Aleru, a man with a police bounty on his own head, crowned Sakin Fulani by the Emir of Birnin Yandoto himself. 48 hours later, the government suspends him.
From Borno to Zamfara, where the state government has suspended the Emir of Birnin Yandoto of Safi local government area, Aliyu Marafa, for conferring a chieftaincy title on a notorious bandit leader.
Not because they investigated, because the video went viral and the embarrassment moved faster than the bureaucracy could. Ask yourself the question nobody in that crowd asked out loud. When the fastest route to peace a royal palace can find is handing a crown to a killer, what does that tell you about who actually runs that territory? Now meet the man who explained exactly why that crown mattered. Kashala Mati, successor to a warlord named Halilu Sububu, a man who ran gold camps across Zamfara until the military finally killed him in September 2024. Investigators recorded Mati describing his business model in his own words. We exchange the gold for weapons. We give them the gold and they bring us the guns. Sometimes we sell it here, sometimes we send it to Dubai. 200 to 300 million naira every week from gold pulled out of Nigerian soil by Nigerian hands, traded for the exact weapons used to hold your countrymen hostage. Kidnapping was never the business. Kidnapping was the loan that started it. Once the guns arrived, the gold paid for everything else, permanently, without ever needing another hostage. So here is who signed off on the silence you heard about at the start of this video. Nigeria built a real enforcement unit for this, demanding marshals, 671 arrests, 397 people already in federal high court, revenue up over 300%. Real numbers. Say them proudly, Minister. You earned that part. Now say the other number out loud. How many financiers named? How many godfathers charged? How many men who actually owned the excavators and signed the export papers are sitting in a courtroom instead of a boardroom? The government's own field reports already confirm why. Illegal mining continues to thrive, fueled by allegations of protection from influential actors. That's not my accusation. That's their own written admission. You are arresting the boy with the shovel and calling it justice, while the man who paid for the shovel eats dinner in Abuja tonight. That is who signed off on the silence. But here's what should make you furious, not just sad. None of the men we just named, not the emir, not Mati, not a single bandit in that forest, owns a single industrial excavator. None of them have a shipping manifest to the Persian Gulf. Someone else does. And that someone has been walking through Nigeria's front door for years. March 8, 2025. A compound on Mango Road, Jos EFCC operatives break in. No mining license. Never had one. Inside, 4 Chinese nationals, Liang Qinyong, Wang Huaji, Zhong Jiajing, Lang Tichong, standing next to 27 Nigerian collaborators, beside a truck loaded with 8 sacks of processed ore. worth roughly 4 million naira each. 4 foreign nationals, 27 Nigerians standing right beside them, doing the driving, the guiding, the paperwork. Write that ratio down. It is the entire scandal in one sentence. Foreign syndicates do not operate in Nigeria alone. They operate because Nigerians open the gate, guard the gate, and profit from every truck that passes through it. Now go back to the report I opened this video with, because I want you to feel exactly how long this has been sitting in plain sight. The Central Bank of Nigeria's own annual economic report states, in the bank's own language, a substantial outflow of gold from Nigeria to the UAE without evidence of requisite royalty payments and approved certificate of exportation. The same report says the government is negotiating a bilateral tracking deal with the UAE. This is 2026. Name one company sanctioned because of that deal. Name 1 billion recovered. Name one press conference announcing results. You can't, because there weren't any. 5 years of silence, sitting inside a government document that anyone could have read out loud on national television, and nobody did until now. And here's the part that should genuinely enrage you. It's not a guess. Independent financial investigators, cross-referencing UN trade records, have documented the exact same gap for a decade. Gold that leaves Zamfara and simply never appears on any Nigerian export ledger, anywhere, ever. Once it lands in the UAE, the law finishes the laundering for free. Gold can enter the country in a carry-on bag, no proof of origin required. Once it's melted in a refinery, it is legally reborn, clean, sellable. Its Nigerian blood erased permanently by a legal loophole that everyone in that supply chain knows exists and nobody with the power to close it has bothered to. That is who profits from Nigeria's silence. Foreign refineries that ask no questions. Foreign traders who don't need to lie, because Nigeria's own laws already did the lying for them. Everything I've shown you so far, you could still convince yourself was a Zamfara problem, a northern problem, somebody else's state problem. I need you to listen very carefully to what happened next, because it did not stay in the north. It is not finished spreading, and by the time I'm done explaining it, you will understand that this video is not about a distant forest. It's about how close that forest already is to your own front door. May 15, 2026. Orie local government, Oyo State, the southwest of Nigeria. A region that had never, not once in its history, lived through a mass school kidnapping. Gunmen hit 3 schools in one coordinated strike. 46 pupils and teachers taken into the bush. A teacher, Michael Oyedokun, beheaded on camera, filmed deliberately, to be shared, to spread fear faster than any government statement could contain it. A second teacher killed in the raid itself. 56 days. Their demands, the implementation of Sharia law, 1 billion naira wired to an account in the Benin Republic, the release of their jailed commanders. 56 days. In a state that spent a decade believing this only happened to other people, in other states, on the news, far away. That belief just died. And if you live in Lagos, in Abuja, in Port Harcourt, in Enugu, I need you to understand something before you finish this video. Geography stopped protecting anyone in Nigeria the day Oyo State proved it could happen anywhere. Here is why it's spreading, and I want you to hear this as clearly as I can say it. Between July 2024 and June 2025, kidnappers demanded close to 48 billion naira nationwide as the naira keeps collapsing. Criminal groups need bigger and bigger cash numbers just to hold the same real value they held a few years ago. Ransom in naira is losing value every single month, even for the criminals. Gold does not collapse. Gold crosses any border, sells in any currency, holds its value whether the naira is strong or weak. So the machine you've watched build itself for the last 16 minutes, ransom buys guns, guns hold ground, ground produces gold, gold buys the next war, did not stay in Zamfara. It franchised Sokoto, Kaduna, Kara, Niger, now Oyo, and while you watch this video, it is still moving. This actual week, bandits struck villages again in Zamfara and Sokoto. More than 40 people taken in a single weekend raid in Maru. 20 people killed in a coordinated assault 2 days before this video was published. This is not history. This is not a documentary about the past. This is happening right now, tonight, while government officials who read the same reports you just watched me quote go home to guarded houses in Abuja. So here is everything you now know that almost no one else in this country has said out loud in one video. Appellants crowned a bandit instead of arresting one. A mining task force arrests diggers and has never touched a single sponsor. A central bank confessed to a 5-year-old theft and buried the confession in its own report. A foreign company needed 27 Nigerian hands to move 4 foreign ones through the border. Our currency is collapsing so fast that gold became the only stable weapon left standing, and it bought a war that just crossed into a region that thought it was safe. None of this was hidden. It was written down, filed, reported, and ignored by people whose entire job was to stop it. The gold under Zamfara belongs to the children who spent 56 days in a forest in Oyo State. It does not belong to a gun dealer, a foreign trader's briefcase, or a refinery ledger in Dubai, built specifically to lie about where blood-soaked wealth came from. If this made you angry, good. That anger is correct. It is the only appropriate response to everything you just watched. Do not let this die in your notifications. Send this to every Nigerian you know before you close this app. Comment the name of the official you believe should be forced to answer for this, publicly, on camera, this week, not in 5 more years of silence. Subscribe, because NRK Omar Documentary TV is not done following this money, and we are not going to be quiet about where it leads next.